Hi everybody and welcome back to Lost Genre Reddit Stories.
This post is from the subreddit True of My Chest and it's by user LongDebt6765. I told the mistress that she got the leftovers and she's not happy about that. Been married to my husband for 15 years. I have a great life and I love everything about it. He has a great career and I feel very spoiled. I only have to work with what I love, and it is that I design jewelry, and the profit would never give me the life I am living. I have not paid bills in years, and I spend my days in my studio, working out or having fun with my friends. Our families are very close, and we have a big social circle that I love very much. He is great. He cooks and cleans with me, and I never feel like I do more than him. He makes me my favorite food every day, and he would drive at 3 a.m. at night if I was feeling down and wanted a burger or candy. I want to believe that I would do the same for him. Other than that, I cannot drive. Smiley face. Cheating on me was a mystery to me. I was in shock for a long while, but I couldn't tell anyone because I didn't want my life to crumble. Then I got used to it. I let go of the love and just kept the friendship and companionship. I want my house, my travels, and my family and friends. Everything I have thanks to him. Then I got her "Hey girly" message last month, and I didn't even open it. It was on Instagram, but I didn't accept her invitation to speak, so she reached out on TikTok instead, and later I found a request on Facebook Messenger too. Then, I don't know how, but she got my number and called me. I answered because I thought it was a buyer and she cornered me. I froze and she calmly told me to see what she left on Instagram and TikTok. I hung up in a panic. So I opened her "Hi girly" text. I couldn't help but be confused. She pretended that she didn't know I existed when I've seen all her texts about me. Haven't seen me when I know she has. I didn't read all of it, but I wrote her that I knew about the affair and that she could stop lying because I knew for a fact that she knew he was married and to whom. She became very hostile very fast and told me if I was better, maybe he blah blah blah, you know how it goes. I told her that she could have my leftovers, the parts of him that I don't want and according to her, I neglected. I told her she could have his body and even his heart. I have the other more important things. I have half of everything else, at least, so the leftovers are truly hers. Congrats! She went berserk with insults and I blocked her. I have been crying since. What do people like her want when they contact the partner of their affair? I'm not looking for leave him advice. I love my life and his love, and sex don't matter to me anymore anyway. Excuse my very bad grammar. I will try to edit and correct when I find errors, but I don't really write a lot in English in my life. Well, OP, since you're not looking for advice or judgment and you just want to know what do people like her actually want, I think it's just to try and hurt you. It's some sort of power play. They don't know you, but they probably feel like crap in their own life, and they just feel like they have some control if they're able to hurt somebody emotionally like that. That'd be my take. Anyway, I don't feel sorry for people like that, because if you go and do something like that, you're pretty pathetic, like this person clearly is. She reached out to you in 3 different platforms to try to hurt you, and when you didn't pay attention, she just called you. And still, she didn't get what she wanted. She didn't get a crying reaction out of you. You basically told her, you can have him. I've got everything else. Which, even though if I don't absolutely agree with your logic, I'd say it's a pretty strong move. Good for you, OP. And what do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section. And now let's check out the community comments. Free Fortuna says, quote, "What do people like her want when they contact the partner of their affair?" End quote. In this case, my guess would be that she wanted you to find out about the affair, get upset, repeatedly fight with your husband about it, get divorced, and leave him to her. I'm assuming he had no intention of leaving you for her, so she went behind his back to try to force it. That makes a lot more sense than what I said. Ecstatic Quote 3532 says, "My best bet is she was looking to inform you of the affair in the hopes that would accelerate a divorce. I know you're happy with your life, but you need to get your ducks in a row in the event he decides to leave you. If you think this affair is more than just sex and it's actual love, he may be thinking about it, using the old, 'I will leave my wife eventually, just not now.' Get yourself as much proof of the affair as you can and consult a lawyer to be prepared. Also, talk to your husband and tell him that under no circumstances you want her to try to reach you again. have him deal with the crazy. I wish you all the luck, babe. And Dopey responds, well, it must be more than just sex, or he would have slept with many others. He is very hot, and I don't think he would have problems with just sex from many. Dave Hell 2001 says, she wants you to divorce him because he's not going to divorce you, and she knows it. Move in the shadows of the office of a good attorney. At least get an idea what's actually yours if the two of you do divorce. You are not obligated to file, and you must be ready to protect yourself in case he's moving in the shadows. If you haven't already done so, get yourself tested. Maybe just for fun. Tell the side piece she should get herself tested, but don't say anything else, no matter how much she asks. And Dopey responds, I don't sleep with him a lot, just when I am very horny, and I have told him to use condoms. It has just happened a couple of times since I discovered the affair, and I regret it because I hate angry sex. And Go0018 says, no worries, you're great. At least you didn't do like I did. I used the gossipy ex-sister-in-law to make her think he was going to come back to me. Laughing emoji. Like, ew, no. That he was buying me a new car, a fridge, and a new washing machine, and show her pictures of my new apartment. She went nuts when I confessed to the sister-in-law that he came at my home and we were having fun again. And of course, she went blabbing about that, as I knew she would. She had the audacity to come to my house to scream at me because now she was the wife. She got arrested and was entertaining as F to play with her head like that. When she got arrested, I got out with popcorn to watch. The best part is that recently he sent me an email detailing how much he loved me and that he regrets ever being with her, describing how useless she is. I replied with a clown emoji. Additional information from Opie's comments. The affair was with only one woman, and it was his behavior that was the first warning that something was terribly off. He became silent and had that 1,000-yard stare. You notice it especially when you are very close and open with each other, but it was his smile and not meeting my eyes that did it. I started having nightmares by then, and one day he said he was staying the night out. He never did that our entire relationship since he always longed to come home, that it was a running joke that he went crazy if he stayed away for a couple more hours at work. Before all this, when he had to work late for a few days, he would talk about it and about wanting the weekend to be just us because he hated being away and not seeing me enough that week. He came home in the middle of the night and he was a total mess and very emotional and told me he never wanted to stay away from me again. I remember crying and so did he. It took me a couple more times over the following months to sneak out to the laundry room after he spent a night away and came in the early morning when I was sleeping. He usually unpacks his bags himself and to do a wash, but I managed to sneak into the laundry room and see his bag before he could do it, and I found the condoms. I knew then my feelings were right. Then I saw the texts. Then the nights out became something that just happened, and his smile went back to normal, and he could look at me again. Okay, well, the community gave advice, but it was about getting her ducks in order and moving in the shadows, which I agree, it's a good insurance. So now, let's move on to the update to see how this story ends. So I was here a few days ago to talk about my husband's mistress. This is an update from that post, but I will not be speaking about the mistress here because my story with her is over. She has told him about me knowing. Not sure when she told him, but he's been hovering around me this week like he wanted to say something, and this morning he did. This was odd because he usually doesn't have a lot of time in the morning for a serious discussion, but maybe this was the plan, just to get it over with? He just came to the kitchen and told me that, "You need to know that it's over with her. It's been over since New Year's. I ended it." I looked at him and he couldn't meet my eyes. I said, "Okay, but next time tell them to never bother me again." He said there won't be a next time. He loved me and he was so sorry. He made his way for a hug or something, but I guess my look was good enough warning not to come near me. Not sure why his apology and love declaration made me more angry than anything else I felt since I found out. I wanted to yell and scream at him, but I stayed frozen in my chair. How effing dare he apologize or pretend to love me? I said yes, you will, and the next woman or women is not allowed to contact me. That's all that matters. It wasn't a debate, it was a fact that I was stating. Then, when he's hovered enough time, I asked him why he ended it. He said because he realized I knew. I asked him why he didn't tell me until she told him I knew, and he said because he is a coward and thought that he was sparing me the pain, but that he realized I knew and ended the affair, which led her to contact me. I gave him my phone so he could see all the screenshots I've taken of her trying to contact me for the past month or so. I asked him if he loved her, and he said no. I told him not to lie because I've seen the texts. He said maybe at first because it was something new and he got feelings mixed up with excitement, but he realized very quickly that it wasn't love. I said, and like me, you don't want to lose half of this. He said that wasn't why he loved me or wanted me, and I said, well, that's my only reason. Then, before he left, he asked me if I will ever forgive him. I said no, it was final. I told him that even if I could forgive the physical affair, once the images of them together that I see whenever I closed my eyes start to fade away, but I will never forgive that he destroyed the man I thought I had. He made me realize that man only ever existed in my head, and I will never forgive him for that. He left to go to work and left me totally drained in my kitchen. Then a few hours later, my mother-in-law showed up and I could finally cry. He had told her and his dad what he'd done, and she wanted to check on me. She suggested therapy and said that he wanted to try it. Honestly, I don't mind it, and I think I do need one on my own too. I also need a refuge or sanctuary, a place I can spend time away from him a few days a week or maybe a week every month, and he can use that time however he wants. Away from me without making excuses about how busy he is this night. Well, Upped, I have to say, I am sorry that you're going through all of this. It must be heartbreaking, but you are determined, and I think that therapy would be a good place to start for you. So whatever it is that you decide into your future, here's wishing you the best. Take care and thanks for sharing. And now let's move on to the next post that also has an update. This post is from the subreddit Am I the A-hole, and it's by user MuchDistance3738. Am I the a-hole for not eating the same birthday lunch meal as my dinner meal? I am having conflicting feelings on my birthday dinner. This is definitely first world problems and not really a big deal, but it has my head spinning. My father asked me a few days ago where I wanted to go to dinner for my birthday. I am almost 40 and he is in his 70s. We are not young, so I feel that makes this even weirder. I tell him a restaurant I saw online that he and my mom had never been to. They said fine. My dad starts looking it up and says it's not a fancy place, so he would like to go check the place out first to see if they even have seating. Weird, but okay. Cut to the day we are supposed to go there for dinner, and he says, I'm going now, noon, to order lunch to see if the place is good. I said, what? I thought we were going for dinner tonight. He looked at me like I was an idiot and said, we don't know if it's good, so I'm going to check it out first. I thought that was weird as he notoriously hates having the same meal repeatedly and won't eat leftovers, but he left. He came back with his food and a lunch for me, of the dish I wanted for dinner, and told me I had to try it. I said, okay, so we're having this for lunch instead of dinner? And again, he looked at me like I was the dumbest person alive. I said, I don't want it for lunch and for dinner. He then raised his voice a bit and said, you have to try it to see if it will be good for dinner. I took a bite, it was delicious, and I went back to work. I work from home. Am I losing my mind? Is this normal behavior? I then overheard him talking to my mom about how ungrateful I am for him going out of his way to make sure my birthday dinner was going to be good. Am I an a-hole for what I said and for not wanting the same meal twice in a day? I feel like I may be in the wrong, but I also feel like I have completely lost the experience of trying somewhere new for my birthday. For context, he has never gone to a restaurant to try it before we went out and tried the restaurant. Does that even make sense? Well, Upped, I have to say, I don't think you're the a-hole, and it is a little bit weird, but also, you're turning 40, right? This is your 40th birthday. Maybe your dad wants to make a big thing out of it because you are turning 40. It is some sort of a milestone birthday. So maybe he's really trying to go out and make sure that the experience you have for your 40th birthday is the best one he can give you. But if it's not that, and you've seen other signs that, as you say, are out of character, then maybe consider getting a checkup for him. And what do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section, and now let's check out the community comments. Peeker for Life says, normal is relative. It sounds like this is out of character for him. You should talk to your mother about this and maybe think about getting him checked out by a doctor. Time Minute 1897 says, not the a-hole, and I guess keep an eye out for more unusual behavior from your dad. It could be health related. Maybe talk to your mom about it and see if she's noticed anything that seems off. This situation sounds very strange. Cover character 8179 says, this is certainly odd behavior by him. When someone that age starts doing odd things that are out of character, it's a good idea to talk to their doctor about it. I don't really see where anyone is an a-hole though. Really, is this even a conflict? No a-holes here, if so. Luke Fixed Deck says, he's 70 and displaying out of the norm behavior. I hate to be the one, but he's not displaying other signs of dementia or anything like that. Not the a-hole, but if this behavior is out of character, there is probably a reason. And Opie responds, for a while now, he's only been doing the thing where someone forgets a word they are about to say, like, hand me the, what is the word, the thing, and he's trying to say remote. But I thought that was sort of normal, nothing like typical dementia Alzheimer's or what I thought would be signs. And Hidden Kobold says, this is beyond odd, to the degree that I'm going to default to the assumption that it's got something to do with age-related cognitive stuff on your father's part and say, no a-holes here. Regardless, no, you're not in the wrong. Happy birthday! Opie's edit. Yes, I am old and currently living with my parents. I recently sold my home in a different state and moved back at their request. Not how I planned on having my life go at all, but when you have aging parents and that say their only wish is to have their kid near them with the time they have left, it's hard to say no. Well, the community agrees no a-holes here and that Opie's dad should get a checkup. So now let's move on to an update that OP gave us. Not that this needs an update, I just thought it was funny. While I thoroughly enjoyed my dinner, and so did everyone else, my fears of his distaste for repetitive meals did kick in. He wasn't miserable or anything, he just sort of picked at his plate for dinner. My aunt noticed and asked if he didn't like it, and unprompted took a piece of her fish and put it on his plate, saying it was delicious and to try that instead. He said he knows he had it for lunch. Then, my mom pipes up after she had been zoned out ignoring our mild disagreement, saying that some old friends were coming the next day for dinner and they agreed on her making Cajun fish for dinner. I pissed myself with laughter and he looked like he wanted to shoot us both. After dinner, I thanked him again for lunch and told him I would make him a burger or something if he didn't want the same meal again the next night. I also took y'all's advice and gently asked him for him to make an appointment for a general checkup with blood work, urine test, etc., as all his appointments for a while have been for a specific issue, and hopefully we can catch a UTI if that's the problem. Neither of us apologized, but we moved on grumbly, codependently, but ultimately happily ever after with copious amounts of heartburn. Well, OP, I'm glad you enjoyed your birthday dinner. I think so. Happy birthday, and here's wishing you the best, and to your dad too. Thanks for sharing, OP, and take care. And now let's finish this video with a mood booster post. This post is from the subreddit Petty Revenge, and it's by user TX Mothman. My ex-boss taught me about responsibility, so I returned the favor. I had a boss for 5 years. We will call her Jay. I worked with young children with disabilities. Some of the issues I had with Jay ranged from minor problems, never responding to emails, not providing basic necessities, which our program was supposed to provide, etc., to major issues, such as accusing me of breaking student iPads, repeatedly asking me to do illegal things, not responding to child abuse complaints, laughing at me when I shared how concerned I was about some of this, making my staff cry on a weekly basis. Some of her favorite quotes. I pay you. You do what I want. If you don't like it, go work at Walmart. That's why you're not the boss. Be your own problem solver. Complete and total a-hole. After 5 years, I couldn't take it anymore. My last day of work, my colleagues had a party for me, and they all signed a card. My boss signed it. Not everyone is cut out for this level of responsibility. Good luck, Jay. So last week, imagine my reaction when I see her mugshot posted on social media. Arrested for DWI. So I sent her a thinking of you greeting card. Inside I wrote, so sorry to hear about your arrest. Not everyone is cut out for this level of responsibility. Good luck. Well, Upped, that is petty but so deserved. Thank you for sharing.
And that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch it. Now, if you've gotten to